Ik eia yich satini, stakat yuhan, achtu chatu di chwet, ti gugenkya yagi qa. Achtu yag eia yata chwetchini, ya yagitsu. Good to see you guys. I'm a little bit tired today, but I feel good just seeing your faces. I was just telling Carrie that I flew to Juneau on Monday, came back late last night, and I got to work with the Tlingit language teachers in Juneau on some language assessments, which help us do our lesson planning so that we're creating our lessons to meet our goals for the students. And it was exciting and fun and a lot of work. I enjoyed it a lot. But here we are. It's week 6 of our class, and we've been tracking the days both in the Gregorian calendar, so February 12th today, and also in the lunar calendar, which is traditionally used by the Tlingit people. And so it's S'eek Dísi, or Black Bear Month. And it's the 14th day of this moon phase. So 14 days have passed. Jinkat Kadaukunyawachi.
Anna, I just
Yeah.
want to say in the comments,
Uh,
Chloe did, she put up the link to the CBC doc.
oh,
If
cool.
anyone is interested in,
Here
you
it is.
found it.
Oh, wow. Okay, thank you for sharing. So, if folks want to check this out, it's in the chat. Carrie was just telling us that one of her relatives did a documentary about her. It looks like
My
this is really.
nephew.
Oh, your nephew did an
Yeah.
article about
And
you.
there should be a voice thing, like the actual recording.
Awesome.
Yes, this was done in 2018. And how I went back after.
Wow. So
That's the
cool.
biological family.
Awesome. Thank you for sharing this.
Oh, I didn't share it. That's I just told you about it. It was Chloe, he put it up.
Aw. So today we'll do more moon and tides. I have a review practice I made for our language practice, dialogues, and we've been talking about beach creatures, and now we're starting to talk about the level, the height of tide, the tide going out and coming in. And since the sun and moon have a big effect on the tides, we'll be incorporating those into our vocabulary as well. So here we are. I have this Gregorian calendar. This is looking back at the month of January. It also shows the lunar calendar, in other words, the phases of the moon. So January 29th was the beginning of Black Bear Moon, S'eek Dísi. It was the new moon. That's when you start counting the days of that month. So we're in S'eek Dísi. Looking into February, S'eek Dísi Jinkat Kadaukun Yawachi Yadis. This is Black Bear Month, and 14 days have passed this month. So here I put a star for where we are today. It's a full moon today, and we're 14 days into the moon cycle. Jinkat Kadaukun. So let's do this one. Please repeat after me this first sentence. S'eek Dísi
Dísi, yeah.
Jinkat Kadaukun.
Jinkat Dakun.
Good. And next, Yawachi Yadis.
Yawah he yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. So this sentence, Jinkat Kadaukun, is 14, and it's 10 and 4. That's how you say 14 in Tlingit. So let's start with just Daukun. This word means 4, and it has a pinched X, in other words, an apostrophe. And you pronounce this word like this. Repeat after me. Daukun.
Dakun.
Good. You're just creating friction in the top of your mouth, between the top of your mouth and the top of your tongue, and you just push the air out. That's what the apostrophe tells you to do. Let's do it again. Daghun.
Daghun.
Good. And this word is 10, jinkat.
Jinkat.
This word is and, ha.
Ha.
Ha. Ha.
Good. The underlined K tells you to pronounce it in the back of your throat. So repeat after me. Kadaghun.
Daghun.
Hata.
Good. And repeat after me. Jinkat kadaghun.
Jinkat.
Kadaghun.
Daghun.
Good job. 14. If we look ahead at where this moon ends, we'll be looking into the end of February. The next new moon will be February 27th, and that will begin our new month. So as we've been tracking our moon phase and our tides, Jamie Ann isn't here today. Looking back, we had a new moon. Our highest high was 15 feet. Our first quarter moon a week later was 16 feet. Today, our full moon, let's look them up together. Tide chart, Tóoch Bay, Alaska, 2025. Tide predictions for Tóoch Bay 2025. Make this a little bit bigger. And our day starts at the 12th today. Okay, here's our current time. Our morning high looks like it was at 1:13 a.m. today, a height of 15.7 feet. So 113, 15.7. Our morning low was at 6:56 a.m., 2.1 feet. Our afternoon high will be 12:54 p.m., 17.3 feet. And our afternoon low, 7:18 p.m., minus 2 feet. Oops, minus 2. Cool. So the reason we're filling this out is both to stay connected to the moon and tides, but also to start learning about a correlation of how the sun and moon affect the tides. So this was an activity from the Moon and Tides book. And a few people emailed me pictures. I didn't put the dates because I didn't track them exactly, but I just thought it was fun to share images. This is a class activity from the book for us to keep track of what we see in the sky. Here's a picture of 3 planets aligned. Here's a picture Carrie shared of the moon. If people have pictures that they take at night of the moon, please feel free to email them to me and I can add them to our log. But I just think this is a fun activity to have visuals as we learn the Tlingit vocabulary for them. So my email's in the chat. Before we jump into our warm-up, are there any questions or comments? Okay. Okay, so warm-up. This is our vocab, looking at it a little bit differently. Let's match from the Tlingit words. Let's match our English translations. But first, repeat after me the first word, na. Good. You round your lips and pronounce the K in the back of your throat. Again, na. Good. Wasa du wasa na. How do you say na in English?
Octopus.
And next one, repeat after me. Shao.
Shao.
Okay. What is shao in English?
Crab.
Not quite. Any other guesses?
I was gonna say gumboot.
Gumboot. Good one. Next one, repeat after me. Yao.
Yao.
And which one is yao?
Herring.
Okay. Herring. You do a sock like And last one, tsao.
Sao.
Okay. Dungeness.
Chow.
Let's repeat them one more time. Repeat after me. Na.
Na.
Shao.
Shao.
Yao.
Yao.
Tsao.
Sao.
Okay. Things that we find on the beach. And let's do a dialogue. Repeat after me. Dasa iatin. And repeat after me the response. Ya khatin. Good. I'll be person A and I'll say Dasa iatin. You guys will all be one person B and say Ya khatin. Dasa iatin. Good. And since we've reviewed these already, let's keep it going. Dialogue style. I'm A, you're B. Dasa iatin. Dasa iatin. Okay. Dasa iatin.
No.
Good. And from the top, now you all are person A. Ready, go. Ya khatin. Hit khatin. Tsao khatin. Na khatin. Okay. Dasa iatin, Johan.
Yao khatin.
Okay. Dasa to. Okay.
Hit iatin.
Hit khatin. Hit khatin.
Hit khatin.
Okay. Good, Carrie.
Tao hitin.
Tsao khatin. Yeah, do tsao. Tsao khatin.
What is it? Yeah, cool. Hit. Yeah, cool. Eating.
Yauk Khatin.
Hayatin.
Yauk Khatin.
Hayatin.
Okay.
Te Khatin.
Te Khatin.
Hoots Khatin.
Ja, du Hoots. Hoots Khatin. Okay.
Gagan Khatin.
Gagan Khatin.
Yao Khatin.
Okay. Yao Khatin. Yao okay. Shawat Khatin.
Katkats Khatin.
Gollach ish Khatin. Yadikats Khatin.
I forget the one for gumboot.
Shao.
Shao Hayat.
Shao Khatin.
Shao Hatin.
Okay.
Yonid Hayatin.
Yan Eid Khatin. Okay.
Hin Khatin.
Basa?
Hin.
Khatsuhin Khatin. Hin yawa. Good job, you guys. And I hear people starting to say, I see a woman, I see a boy, I see my dad. So we'll be planning lessons where we're talking about kinship, our relatives, and then getting into what they're doing. But I wanted to share about this poster since folks asked. These are posters from a Tsimshian education program. And it comes from the TSLA and Indigenous Education Department in Prince Rupert. This is their school district. And the illustrator is Judy Hilgeman. And some of my colleagues and I have been using these posters. They've been around by teachers in Tlingit language classrooms for a long time. I just think they're great because they, show our ways of life. And they're just fun to look at and talk about. But yeah, Judy Hilgeman's the illustrator. So our beach picture also has the tide, and we started to learn some phrases about the tide, so let's keep going with it. This is a few pages I took from the Moon and Tides book. And I'm going to read it to you. The moon and tide are related. The tides are caused by the rhythmic variation in the depth of the water at different times of the day. When humans began recording the events, they found that tides were closely related to movements of the moon. Science confirmed that the movement of the moon and the sun influenced the tides. There's a complete tidal cycle of 2 highs, or floods, and 2 lows, or ebbs, approximately every 24 hours and 50 minutes. The gravitational pull of the moon causes 2 bulges of water, one toward itself and one on the opposite side of the Earth. So this is a visual, and it says when the Earth, moon, and sun line up, there's either a full or a new moon. During these times, the tides are highest and lowest. New moons produce higher water than full moons. Why? Because the sun and moon are pulling in the same direction. These tides are called spring tides. So if we think about the sun and the moon having an impact on the tide, you can think about it. I've heard it described as like in a bathtub, when you're moving the water around, it swishes around. And it has that same effect, having a bulge effect or a retracting effect around the Earth. And so when you have both the sun and the moon pulling on the ocean in the same direction, we get our biggest spring tides. When the moon and the sun are at right angles to one another, the tides are neither very high nor very low and are called neap tides. Yeah. Here's an image I took off the internet, and it just has another visual of the same thing. Right now, we're at our full moon. So they're not on the same side of the earth, but we have the sun, the earth, and the moon in alignment. And they're both pulling on the ocean and creating big tides or spring tides. Yeah. So when we think about how that looks on Earth and how we talk about it in Tlingit, here is a photo of the same beach, both at low tide and high tide. And let's practice these phrases again. So the tide is going down. Repeat after me. Ye na llain.
Ye na llain.
Good. Again. Ye na llain.
Yay.
Ye na llain.
Good. It's going down. And then the tide is down. It's low tide. Yan ua tha.
Yan.
Good. Again. Yan ua tha.
Yan sa.
Good. The tide is coming in. Tóoch nadain. And the tide has come up. Yan kat ua da. Good. A couple things I want to point out, or maybe just one thing for now. When we see this word yun in front of an action word, it usually signifies that the action is complete. So the tide is down. It has come down. It's done. It's at the bottom. We see this phrase, yan ua tha. The tide has come up. It's done coming up. It is up. We see yan kat ua da. So in our language patterns, let's start to internalize that this yan generally means it happened. It's complete.
It happened.
So is yun like is and yun is has?
Not quite. They have slightly different meanings. They're not direct translations. But this is the situation when you would use them. This cut in yun cut, I will have to look it up to make sure that I say it right when I explain it, but yeah, yun. Okay. Yeah. So let's practice repeating. Johnny Marks recorded all these phrases for the audio CD. He was Lichéesh Adi, and he was a birth speaker. So I'm going to hit play. I won't pause it this time, so it'll move kind of quick. Folks are welcome to repeat after. You can stay muted or unmute. It's up to you. Let's give it a listen.
The tide is going down.
Ye na llain.
Ye
Ye na llain.
The tide is down.
Yan ua tha.
Yan
Yan ua tha.
The tide is coming in.
Tóoch nadain. Tóoch nadain.
The tide has come up.
Yan kat ua da.
Yan kat ua da.
Okay. Good job. So let's keep practicing with these and drill them with visuals. So here I have an image of the tide going down. So I put this downward arrow. And let's see. Oh yeah, ye na llain is going down. Okay. Repeat after me. Ye na llain.
Ye
Yen
na
Lane.
Good. Again. Ye na llain.
Ye na
Yen Lane.
The tide is down. Yan ua tha.
Yan
Yan
Ua
Good. Yan ua tha.
Yan
Yan
Ua Yan Uwala.
This L is a thinga L, and instead of activating your voice box, you just breathe out the air, let the air flow out the sides of your tongue, between your tongue and your cheeks, and just make a windy sound. So repeat after me, tha, and then say yan ua tha.
Yan
Yan Uwala.
For
I did it
first,
wrong.
that's okay. First one, repeat after me, ye na llain.
Ye na
Lane.
Yan ua tha.
Yan Blech.
Next one, the tide is coming up. Dak nadain.
Lane.
Good. Again. Dak nadain. Good. And from the top,
Oh,
the tide is going down. Ye na llain.
Ye
Lane.
Ye na Yin.
Again. Ye na llain.
Lane.
Ye na llain.
Good.
Lane.
Good.
Ye na Lane.
Yan ua tha.
Yan
Yan ua tha. Okay. Dak nadain.
Lane.
Dak nadain. Yan kat ua da.
Yan
Yan kat ua da. Good. And one more time from the top.
Oh.
Ye na llain.
Ye na Lane.
Good. Okay. Yan ua tha.
Yan Uwala.
Good. Dak nadain.
Lane.
Dak nadain. Yan kat ua da.
Yan
Yan kat ua da. Good. So looking at the 4 sentences, we have a pattern also. The tide is going down and it is down, have something in common. What similarity do you see between these top 2 phrases?
I'm sorry, what was the question? What?
There's one letter that I'm looking for that's similar in between ye na llain and yan ua tha, specifically this in the second words.
The L?
Ye away the L. And what do you see in place of the L for the tide is coming in and the tide has come up?
D.
The D.
Ye away. So without getting too much into grammar, this is the verb root, this last part, and they change shape whether an action is happening now or it has completely happened, but they both begin with this same consonant. So da and dain, you can think of that as the tide is coming up, it is up. Tha and llain, you can think of that as the tide is down or is going down. So
You know what was funny when you were asking that question? I'm like, what was similar? And I'm looking at the English written one, and I'm like, well, well, there's the in all of them, then there's tide, and then there is, and then down,
Yeah.
and that, and I'm just like, well, it would be tide, and then it clicked. I'm like, okay, we're not talking about the English version.
Oh. Yeah. Yeah. You do kind of look at patterns too on the English side and make correlations, but
I
mainly
mean,
I
the
want
only
you
reason why is because your cursor was going around the English, and
to.
I'm like, well, it's there's numerous there.
Just trying to trick you.
Yeah.
Talking about the tides, I just want to have a discussion because we're going to have cultural activities about the tides in our future classes. But to kick us off, what stories do we know about the tides? Does anybody know stories about the tides or have other knowledge about the tides that you either heard growing up or read in books about our cultures?
There's clam digging this
Uh-huh.
time of year.
When
The
Nice.
tides are low.
our table is set.
Oh,
When
say
our
that.
our table is set.
When our tide is low, our table is set.
Oh,
Good. I like
really?
that.
I've never heard of that.
I think I've heard that one too.
I weave baskets, and one pattern is a tied out and the other pattern is a tied in. It's really beautiful patterns.
Oh.
Weaving baskets has a pattern from, or really?
Excuse me? Shake it, clink it, spruce root.
Blanket, spruce.
Root.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, we sing a song where I come from called the Land Otter Song. And it's talking about the tide is out and they're Kustakwani's collecting clams. It's a Yunde Yana Slain, Kustakwani, Yunde Yana Slain.
Cool.
Honestly.
Wow.
I don't know. I mean, for the car cross Tlingit, I think we're inland, so
Mm.
we have no song for
Mhm.
or stories. I don't think for tides.
Mm.
I think of some in German, but that doesn't help us.
Is there a river in Carcross?
There's two lakes. There's the Bennett Lake that goes into this other lake or something. But there is the Yukon River that goes through Whitehorse. And there we get the salmon run. So that river comes from somewhere from the ocean
Mm.
for the salmon.
My family's from the Yukon River too, and we talk about the height of the river based off snow melt.
Ah,
Right.
What the animals do when it's high.
when the river's high, what do the animals do?
Mm-hmm.
Land animals?
Yeah, like moose. Stuff my aunties told me.
I would imagine
about-
they go higher ground.
Mm-hmm.
Usually seaweed,
Oh yeah.
a good time to gather seaweed in the spring on the low tide.
So for the
cool.
seaweed, is that something that you would eat or harvest or use for your gardens, or what would?
In the springtime, you want to get the seaweed before it turns brown. The green seaweed.
Yeah.
Yeah, you get it in the spring because the sun bleaches it. So you have to eat it. The black seaweed, the nori seaweed.
Oh.
So you would eat it.
Oh yeah, you make seaweed chop suey, seaweed rice balls.
Oh. Wow.
Lichéesh. I love black seaweed.
Me too.
It's very salty.
Mm-hmm.
How do you say making my mouth water?
And harvest gumboots too, sometimes. Your clams, your gumboots.
What's that part? What did you say?
Harvesting clams or gumboots.
Uh-huh. Yeah. Yeah, I usually get seaweed and gumboots at the same time.
I will try. I love clams. I've never had gumboots. I don't know how they would taste. I think it's someone was saying it. You either like it or you don't. Because you eat it raw, right?
No, they boil them, sometimes pickle them.
Teeth will bounce off of it if it's raw.
Cool. Anything?
Slow tide.
You know, when we're talking about tides, they talk about you know, we have the regular tides, but then they have what they call the red tides,
Yeah.
where that you have to be careful with, right? You can't.
Yeah, the NOAA asked tribes to sample water to see where the algae bloom or red tide was surviving the winter. And so you want to kind of get away from the inhabited areas. I know Upperland Canal, the red tide survives. So you got to be careful. But usually when it's cold like this for a while, that's killing the red tide. So you never want to dig in the summer, right? When the algae bloom or red tide is growing.
So it's usually winter time when you would do that.
Yeah.
Then beach asparagus.
Oh yeah.
Beach asparagus. Oh, I've never heard that one.
That's really good too.
I mean, I love asparagus, but I've never had beach asparagus.
Yeah, red tide doesn't exactly always tell you if there's high toxicity. Red algae is actually different from the toxic algae. So it's always tested no matter what, even if you don't see the red tide.
Yeah.
It's an indicator, not the toxic.
So, but the red tide is only for shell food, right?
Yeah.
Raise your hand in the chat.
The way we did it is we stayed away from the red tide with the months without the letter R.
Oh, thank you.
Those are the months that are most toxic for the red tide.
So that'd be like January, February, March, April.
Those are all okay because they got the letter R in there. The ones without the letter R is the one the red tide occurs.
Oh, without. I'm sorry, I misunderstood.
Yeah, that's the most confusing part.
Thank you. Goodness,
To spring tide, I'd like to share a story that my dad told me about the spring tide. He said that they wait for the spring tide because it's pretty rough, and when it pounds the beaches, that's what cleans the beaches. So we wait for the spring tide to clean the beaches off. So after spring storm, you could look at the beaches and they will be clean from the springtime.
Wait for the spring tide to clean the beaches off.
Goodness, geez. That's incredible.
The first day of spring is April, right? Is that when spring starts?
It's been changing so much lately. We don't know what season it is anymore.
Yeah, I agree.
But generally, April.
Here they say when you see the skunk cabbage, the spring kings are in.
Oh, wow.
Ah. And then everyone's fishing.
That's right.
I should come up and visit.
Yes, you should.
My fishing.
Kasia, I saw your hand was up.
Yeah, she was the one just now speaking. I'm kind of short Zoom while we're in the meeting.
Oh, cool.
So what does skunk cabbage look like? Is it like look like regular cabbage?
No, it's like a tobacco leaf looking plant.
Oh, okay.
Very slowly, and then it grows very rapidly in the summer.
Ah,
It has a big yellow flower in the middle.
For their digestive system, and so does the deer. So it's an important part of our ecosystem.
Yeah.
so you can
Yeah, and for
eat
healing.
cabbage? You can eat that?
Some people
Bears
do.
Bears do.
The bear do.
Oh,
Got a
bear?
lot of acidic in there. You don't want to eat it, it'll clean you out real good.
Okay.
So cool. You guys have shared so much. I love this. And it's kind of helping me think ahead about new vocab I want to bring into our classes. Did anybody else have anything you wanted to share about the tides?
Ooh, herring eggs move in.
Heron eggs. What was that? Iotine.
So herring is yao. Herring eggs
yao.
are herring eggs are gao.
Oh.
Yeah.
So I just remember just real quick when I was fortunate enough to live down on Prince of Wales Island. There was this area, I think it might have been towards Thorn Bay because we had to drive out to get to it. There was a place where I could go dig cockles and then also break up Dungeness crab, and the Dungeness crab down there were huge. So I love being down there because I didn't need a boat to get the crab.
Whoa, yum. When I was in college, I used to interview Kayastan, Marie Olson. She's Wushkitan. And she's in her 90s, but she told me that when she was growing up there in Ak Bay area, they used to go out on their boat just a little ways, till they were 10 feet above the ocean floor. And she said she would just look down over the side and the whole ocean floor would just be covered in Dungeness crab.
People still put their pots out there too, near Fritz Cove, also.
Nice. Those dungies are so good. Ow.
Wow.
Cool. Gonalchishu han gonalchishu ratangi khan kananik ishkalnik dat. Thank you for your words and for sharing them with me about your stories. It's so cool. Looking ahead for this class, we're talking about what is the tide, and thinking about our poster, we have images of the ant holding a big gumboot. Maybe my uncles are harvesting herring eggs. We're talking about when we harvest foods and stories. So these are things we'll be bringing into our classes in the coming weeks. The book I'm pulling from has Moon and Tides has a story, Raven who went down along the bulk help. And I'm going to ask my mentors about this story before we read it in class. I have a little more background information. But that will be a fun one too. I promised you some new vocab, so we're going to do these. Repeat after me. Dis.
Yes.
Yes.
Gagan. Dis.
Yes.
Gagan. Dis.
Yes.
Gagan. Good. From the top, just you guys now. When you see him, go ahead and say him. Ready, go.
Yes.
This.
Gone.
Yes.
Yes. Gaga.
This.
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 Gaga.
Gaga.
Okay. Okay. Any comments or questions?
Can you pronounce the underlined G again, please?
Yeah, good question. Underlined G is back of your throat, and then the regular G is top of your mouth. So you basically contract your muscles once in the back of your throat and then once up more by your tongue and mouth. And you make an sound in between them. So first, repeat after me, just this underlined G-A, ga.
Ga.
Yeah. Yeah, you should feel just a slight squeezing in the back of your throat. Ga. Yeah. And compare that to the second G. Repeat after me, gone.
Gone.
Ga.
Ga.
Gone.
Gone.
Good. These, yeah.
Gone.
Good. The whole word.
I have-
Ga. Uh-huh.
Oh, I was just sorry. I was gonna say I have a question about those double A's. How do you know when they're and when they're ow?
Oh, good question. If you see two A's together, that tells you just to elongate the A sound, the ah. So you just let it drag out a little bit, ah. If you see a W after, oh, do I still have them up? If you see a W after, then you need to round your lips. So it goes from ah to ow.
Ow.
Okay.
Ow.
Oh, Hati.
So just with the W, then it's rounded.
Yeah, that's it. When you see a W, then round your lips.
Okay.
Yeah. Good question. So let's practice this one. Repeat after me. S'eek, Khatin.
Ow.
Good. The other thing is that there's an apostrophe after the S, which tells us to pinch it or make it really sharp sounding. You kind of squeeze out the air. So again, repeat after me. S'eek, Khatin. Good. You sound good.
How do you
Any
say
other-
lobster then?
Oh, I don't know.
Like, you guys must get lobsters there, right? If you
I
get
thought-
crab.
I thought those were an Atlantic animal.
Imported.
Yeah. For giggles, I'm gonna look it up. And we'll kind of just do open exploration this last few minutes of class. So you guys, it's your opportunity to visit, ask questions.
I have a question about herring eggs. It has that underlined G again. Can you pronounce that one again?
Yeah. Okay, so let me pull open the dictionary. Here it is. Of course. So here's the dictionary. We're gonna look up lobster quickly and see. Sometimes even animals that aren't from Think It Land will have an adaptation. Let's just see if there's one. I don't see anything in the dictionary.
Well, I
And
know in here in Vernon they look like little lobsters, but they have a different name.
They're crawfish.
Yeah, crawfish.
Oh. Okay, this one, herring row, you have an underlined G, high tone double A. And then this sound we haven't practiced yet in this class. It's a pinched rounded X. So you're both gonna squeeze out the air and round your lips.
Oh.
And yeah, so let's try this. Repeat after me. Ga.
Ga.
Good. Good. Repeat after me again. Ga. Good. And one more time. Ga.
Ga.
Okay.
So if you said salmon eggs, or salmon roe,
Uh-huh.
that would be something totally different than what we're doing now, right?
Salmon
But
roe.
this is herring egg.
I'm trying.
And they have salmon up there, and I know they. There we go. Oh my gosh!
S'eek. But this is fermented. This is a way of preparing salmon eggs.
Stink eggs?
Uh-huh.
Stink eggs. Oh,
S'eek.
spoiled salmon eggs. It's the spoiled salmon egg.
Yeah.
How dare you?
Well, that's not fun.
So I wonder if the variant is the one. I mean, I wonder if the other one is the variant that just says egg and roe, not the fermented or the spoiled, because of the different ending. Yeah.
Yeah, that could be.
That one's just salmon egg, and the other one is stink egg.
S'eek is
Yeah.
fermented.
Fermented is pickled eggs, right?
No, S'eek.
Oh, it's way better.
Fermented.
Go back to that Kahak S'eek. That's the fermented.
Kahak. Yeah, that's it. Kahak.
S'eek.
Kahak is just eggs.
Yeah.
The S'eek is the fermented stage.
Oh, goodness, geez.
Oh, so that's just two different spellings of the S'eek.
In the variants, yeah.
Okay.
So we have kahak for salmon eggs, and this part for the fermentation process, or this part.
Right.
S'eek. Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
I have some friends that make really good Indian cheese with salmon eggs that I love. My family, I couldn't tell you how to prepare it. My family does more like fermented berries back home in the Yukon.
Oh.
So anybody else want to share about kahak S'eek?
I would, but I have to say goodbye because I have to go for my appointment now.
Yeah, Lichéesh. Have a good day.
Thank you. See you next week.
Bye.
Bye. And thank you for posting that CPC doc, Chloe.
Yeah.
I'm gonna pull up one thing someone put in the chat, and then I'll let you go as it's time to go. But someone asked in the chat what the sign means, and it looks like a bathroom sign, women, and then it has the Tlingit word, and then the Chadkil or Haida word. Shah is women, Quest, restroom, Ite. Ite is usually the remains of, so I'm not sure this phrase, but I just haven't seen it yet. I'm gonna look it up really quick. I don't see it in the dictionary. I haven't heard it before, but that's what it means. Oh, okay, this was fun, you guys. I'm gonna let you go, and I hope you have an awesome rest of your day. Thank you for your work.
The yay across the team, Lichéesh.
Okay. Thank you, Huna, for sharing about herring eggs and salmon eggs and the tides.
I want to be here next week. How can I join? Can I join personally on Zoom?
Yes.
Okay, I'll join you personally on Zoom.
Awesome. Awesome.
I might have 7th graders in the computer lab, so I won't be on for HIA.
Oh, okay, cool.
They'll be doing a different class, so I won't be able to sign in.
Oh, okay.
I'll know tomorrow for sure.
Awesome.
Jeez, thank you.
Good night, I'll see you next week.